Yeah, figured my backyard is a good spot than ever. Anyway, hey everybody, this is Retrokid Reviews. Finally doing a long overdue, a very legal toku of many, many legal tokus. Hopefully they come. I, of course, mean Shin Kamen Rider. Getting to the point, one, I'm doing this in my backyard because I have friends coming in like not even 10 minutes, and I kind of want to keep this non-spoilerly. So what can I say about Takiano's final entry into his four-film Shin Universe saga that obviously started with Shin Godzilla back in 2016 down to today with Shin Kamen. It was good. For the first three out of them, I do through osmosis, and obviously being the most popular toku in Japan, Shin's obviously Kamen, Ultraman, and um, Ultra Godzilla. My bad. I just came back from driving, and I have a bit of a whole thing going, medication wise. Anyway, that being said, I also, if you thought, oh, what are my thoughts on Neon Genesis Evangelion, the Rebuild series, that technically counts. And more importantly, if you saw the new trailer for his new marketing toy that I think all four companies came together for the marketing, it is a weird trailer. Very Super Sentai-esque, I guess, like the secret, like fifth, like movie he'll probably never get around to doing in Ano's case, but would be interesting. Yeah, getting to the obvious point, is this a good adaptation of the first 15, or in this case 13 episodes of the original show back in 1971? Yeah, in a way. I don't know if I ever really got around to doing my retro review of, say, the first and the next Kamen movies that came out in 2000s during like the midst of the Wayward era. Would be interesting to see where they go from there. That being said, to the titular writers themselves, Shinoshi Edemusu, if I got his name right, my apologies, for Takeshi Hongo himself, and Tenusu Edemoto for Ichimonji, aka Kameru Nigo, otherwise known as Writer 2. It's a good interpretation of them. I think the first and next had a problem of giving V3 Ichimonji's origin instead of the other way around, if I remember correctly. Oh, I thought one of my cats got here in the backyard. Sorry for that. Anyway, so I guess Smokes has a couple of like ideas of the whole thing. Anyway, what are you saying? None? Alright, cool. Alright, ultimately, Riniko, the, I guess, professor's daughter that was in the first couple episodes back in the 70s, she did a lot more than she usually would do in the show era show, so that's actually pretty cool. A whole John Wick level kind of like, shootout just to say, hey, I'm more proactive than I was going to be. I planned things out ahead of time. And yeah, it's a really good entry into the only original thing I think Ano was allowed to do was I think his interpretation of Kamen Zero, which has been like the topic of discussion during like mostly the 90s with Gaia and the manga life. More importantly, Matt Burkett's Monstrosities is doing a multi-part docu-series on that became the basis for Shin Prologue, not now obviously Shin Kamen, Zo, and now J. So go to their first half of the doc on that whole discussion. Ultimately, should you see this when it comes back in theaters around June 5th, if you got time enough to have the release event? Yes. Even if you're not all versed into Hongo's story like I was, you get a good idea what Anno was aiming for. He's definitely a fan of the franchise. You can definitely tell where he's going. And, yeah, speaking of fans, turns out, a kaiju channel I watch, I forgot his name, he usually does Godzilla reviews, finally got around to doing Godzilla 98, so I guess final cards there to other Toku tubers if you guys want to check out after me. Anyway, that being said, like I said, this was a Fathom event. This was a very limited experience, and I'm going to keep this non-spoilers for the rest of it, mainly because, again, I want to wait till this thing is on Blu-ray, that way everyone can now finally see it themselves. And, yeah, out of the three in the Shin trilogy, I want to say it, this is the best. You get the more of the pain of, like, the horror that Hongo is going through in the early half of the movie, down to the selfless sacrifice, which I won't spoiler, but it does explain Kamen Zero also, so I won't go there into specifics. Then again, Bandai just released all the toys, so my other sporadic spoilers thoughts on like the Shocker Riders that come way later in the movie. They look great. With enough custom work, I could probably make a real nerf, I guess, retro kid version of a Shocker Rider, if anything. I guess paint sculpt wise. I forgot exactly what toy company is doing that along with their version of Zero, so I'll leave that in the links down below if you guys want to pre-order that. Ultimately, yeah, this is a good movie. This is a good entry point, a good tribute to Showa era, Tokusatsu in general, and Anno's storytelling throughout all these movies. And yeah, like I said, the zombie-ified Megazord he made last week kind of is a good compilation of everything, and nobody kind of saw that coming. I thought it'd be like another team-up short film like he did when he was beta testing Tokusatsu, I think, before Shin Godzilla, if anything, for I think a museum a few years back. So again, I'll just try to find that story down below if I got time. Ultimately, should you sit through this movie? Yes. It's a very legal Kamen anything in a theatrical release here in the West. Like, it's worth the time. It's worth whatever home country you're going to be seeing it when it gets legal over there too. Please watch it when it's new. Even if it's not going to be in theaters, you get the Blu-ray. It's worth buying regardless. It's a good story. It is a more cheery, more hopeful version than I think he even did when Shin Ultraman was out last year. So yeah, that's a whole thing there. Also, since I got time, I never really got around to talking about my thoughts of Shin Ultraman. Again, it's kind of like the same thing you're getting here with Shin Kamen. It's basically a faithful recreation of the first 10 or 10 plus episodes of that as well, and it's more hopeful. Because again, these two are very radically different when you go into like Shin Godzilla, where it's a reaction to the Fukushima crisis that was happening back in the early 2010s, and his thoughts of the Japanese government, things like that. It was very political and yet with purpose, like I always say here on the channel. And more importantly, I don't know, all three movies are still worth it. You're gonna have to be in a good headspace when it comes to Godzilla if you're there just seeing all of his multiple forms over the years. Also, I think Matt Draper had a video series, I think this will be my final cards here, of discussing like how further Godzilla's forms could have been if Anno had more time to make the reins of, I think, most of the storyboard process. So again, check that video essay out as well. And yeah, for a I guess out of character kind of move, yeah, this is definitely worth it. It's 11 out of 10. Long story short, I am a huge Tokusatsu fan. I'm a huge Kamen fan. What little I know of the show era is not as bleak as it looks. I'll probably talk more about that next time. Do I think Shin Kamen is ever going to get a sequel, much like I thought back in the day with Shin Godzilla? Probably not. Will they do another cross-promotional kind of thing like this again? Most likely not, but if the money's right and if Bandai Namco is willing to put up that much cash, who's to say, if anything, when it comes to Anno. But yeah, this won't be the end of my talk of Shin Kamen, because I would like to go more in depth with spoilers, but I can't do that because, again, I do not have the Blu-ray out on time. However, the figure arts are going to be out pretty soon, so if I have time to get any of those and talk more in depth about both of these characters, I would love to do so. So let me know in the comments if you want to see that. Hit the notification bell down below in case I do regardless. And in case, again, I have time in the cards, check out the Amazing's review of the SH Figure Arts Shin Kamen. It looks the best out of everybody so far. So that being said, my hand is tired, but not as tired as seeing all these effects. It was a worthwhile experience when seeing this movie. So with that being said, worthwhile hand over here to the hand cards with my upcoming Critical Role short for episode 60, or my thoughts on I don't know, a certain CM Punk coming back to AEW. How the hell they did that, I will never understand. Sure here to sub the channel notification, like I said, down below for future Toku adjacent or other content. I will get around to sitting through Across the Spider-Verse, hopefully this weekend. And final hand here, if I did see said movie as part of my future review. That all being said, I am Retrokid, Retrokid Reviews, and yeah, this is a not bad setup. I'm probably going to use this for Nerf videos, most likely. Anyway, right, yeah, as much as I want to say the whole theme, I'm pretty sure Toei's like, are you gonna? Nah, not really. Anyway, take care, guys, and please watch this movie when you get the chance. It's worth it, and it's worth, if it's like 80 or 90 bucks on the Blu-ray, it's worth the prices.